Everyone, welcome to your moon in Capricorn reading. As you guys know, it's totally my pleasure to read for you, and I love it. So we're going to be taking a look at the moon in Capricorn energies as they swim around us. These energies are going to be around us, or at least the moon is going to be in the sign of Capricorn from November 25th to November 27th. But you guys know the deal. These readings, these energy readings that I'm doing are timeless and signless. So when it crosses your path, it's meant for you. It doesn't have to be at this time, all right? I always ask you, or hope that I remember to ask you, to use your discernment and make sure that you focus in on energies that are founded upon love and kindness, okay? Because your inner child is listening, and we want to make sure that your inner child is comfortable, because that means, guess what? You're on the right path. All right, so let's jump in and see what's going on. Reveal. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pop a few. Let's say 7. All right, lucky number. 2, 3, 4, and let's hit that bottom of the deck. Aw, 5 of Pentacles. Okay. Let my cute little Virgo rising mind just to try to do something with this alignment. Okay. All right. Okay, it's the chair. All right, so let's jump in. What am I seeing here? Okay. So the overall energies of right now, as during this moon in Capricorn and just in these days in general, is the 5 of Pentacles, okay? The 5 of Pentacles, the way it's showing up in this reading, it's showing a lack of... You know what, I won't go so far as to say completely a lack of self-worth. It's showing more like a pulling inward, because, you know, it's kind of like, okay, I know I'm in this cold area. I know I'm in the cold right now. You could be out in the cold. You could be going through a tough time. You could be grieving, and which is completely understandable for many reasons following Scorpio season. Scorpio season is all about death and transformation. God bless. We're entering into Sagittarius season, but remember, these energies are still in the air, number 1. Number 2, we're still reeling from what happened during this season. And number 3, there are still possibly things that you're working on and that you're kind of moving through as a result of these energies. Because remember, when we take actions during during any time, we're still beholden to the effects of what happens afterward. And so here we see the 5 of Pentacles. We see the lights are all turned on, so there's a sense of awareness. So that's a good sign. That's a good sign, a sense of awareness amidst everything that's been happening. Maybe you've gathered greater awareness about yourself. Maybe you found things out about other people. Maybe you looked in your bank account. You're like, dang, I didn't know, that's what was happening. Well, I'm getting a pool for somebody here. There's a swimming pool, and it's almost like, wow, I didn't know. This is just the vision that's coming through. I'm not saying this is it, but it's almost like having a swimming pool and then like realizing, oh my God, I didn't know there was mold at the bottom of the pool. And like, can that happen? I don't know. I don't think so, but God is good, who knows? But that's the image that they're giving me. So it's having had yourself turned inside out and mirrored back to you by others, reflected back to you. You've had a taste of your own medicine, some of you, right? Whatever's going on, there was an upchucking, a throwing up, and for some of you, a throwing up of the hands. But either way, now here you are, you're in this self-preservation mode. Now, you may or may not be feeling a little stunned as well from the season. Maybe you're just cold and immobile is kind of what I'm seeing here, but there's an energy of knowing, an energy of being aware that you're going through a tough time, and an energy of understanding, which I love that you have to get grounded. You have to stay grounded, and the idea is kind of like this, if I can articulate it. Oh my God, ouch, I know I'm going through a hard time, but I know that Spirit is working on me. I have the energy of the star over me right now. So I know that my Spirit team is working on me. They're doing energy clearings, energy healings. They're clearing out old baggage, all sorts of stuff. And I'm kind of exhausted. So what I'm just going to do is stand here and stay as still as possible. Let me reserve my energy. And let me try to eat right? So what I'm seeing here is that during this kind of winter chill, kind of just standing still, like I'm not going to move too much. During this time, you are being asked to make sure that you get down to practicalities, and which is great. We've got this lovely earth sign of Capricorn coming in. But when I say be practical, I mean make sure that you're eating properly, you're eating enough, make sure that you're keeping up with your hygiene, whatever that is for you. Make sure that you're and staying organized, like make sure that you make your bed, take these steps in the physical to keep yourself grounded. Now I'm just kind of seeing a lot of you having weakened legs, weakened knees, weakened ankles, whatever it is. There's this idea that I can't even feel my legs. And the reason why, again, is because you're protecting yourself. Did you know that one of the body's natural responses to extreme cold is to, of course, we know shivering, right? That shivering generating the warmth and whatnot. But one of the things that your body will do is it will stop the flow of blood, not completely, of course, but to the extremities. So that's why you may get frostbite in extreme cold, because the energy is staying, the blood is choosing to kind of like bunch up because it's warm, closer to the trunk of the body. So think about it that way. Now, energetically, what this looks like is a little bit of dissociation, a little bit of pulling yourself up. So sometimes when I'm working with clients, God bless, if they're going through a little bit of a trauma response in the moment, or they're dissociating in a moment, or they're like just whatever, sometimes it's so cute. I'll take their energetic feet and I'll just pull it down straight to the soles of the feet, and it's really cute. And you can imagine pulling the hands out. It's kind of like stretch. And that's why, to be honest, when we think of power poses, remember power poses, the idea of a power pose is you literally just stand up in the physical, you stand up and you just put your hands out and you spread your feet apart and you just stretch, kind of like you're about to go into a jumping jack, but you don't do the jump. That's a power pose. You stick your chest out and you're like, yeah. You don't have to say yeah, but you can, right? The idea about that is I'm not going to shrink back. I'm going to stretch out. And that's a really great example of an activity that you can do in the physical if you find yourself kind of dissociating and shrinking in and pulling in. Another way that you can tell that you're pulling in like this in a self-protection way is if you are noticing that you're doing a lot of hunkering over, hunkering down, hunching over, lying in a fetal ball. That's why we curl up. But you know, when you're feeling confident and safe, you're not curled up. You're extended. And so Spirit is asking you right now, they're saying, yes, go ahead, take your time out, chill, continue to glean whatever the lessons are, continue to mull things over, contemplate, reflect, pray, ask Spirit for assistance and divine assignment, whatever it is that you need. But make sure that you hit the physical world by taking care of your practical needs, the body, stretch. And and then you also want to make sure that you remember that anytime you're going through a major transformation, I think a lot of people don't realize this, but when you're going through a major transformation, think about it as the pre-transformation, the mid-transformation, and the post-transformation. All three of these time frames are extremely active. They're extremely dynamic. So a lot of times people actually go through they're in their transformation. They're like, oh, I got it. And they're like super high on this energy. Look at how her head is like, oh, I got it. And boom, tower, right? So when you're in that moment where you're like expanding, you're having your breakthroughs, you're having your aha moments, I think a lot of times people think that's the moment I react. That's the moment I make my proclamations to the world. That's the moment. But you have to understand that you're still going through the process when you're in that. And if you're not careful, as with all dynamic energy, you can boom, kind of act a little bit too much and a little bit preemptively. So when you have those moments, choose activities that are helpful in that moment. You can record them somewhere, you can journal them, which is what I just said, right? You can record them, maybe a video, right? Journal them, you can have lively discussions with people, whatnot, but that's not where you're going to settle, because the settling should come back to a more integrated place, because you go in with, let's say you go in with 0, and then you go, boom, I have this epiphany, I have these breakthroughs, and unless you're going to literally invent something in that moment and like run on the steam, it's important to remember that the energies are going to need to integrate, okay? And when you integrate and the energy start to kind of plateau a little bit or get more into your form and you know, your constitution, your alchemy is more balanced, you may find that, oops, I might have done a little bit too much before, or especially if it causes you to blow up at people, if it causes you to create separation, things like that. And those things may be necessary in the long run, but if you're not careful, you may make some missteps during that time. It's like, how dare you? And you slap somebody, and then, oh my God, the soaps. Oh, Young and the Restless, shout out. There's every episode's, and then the girl puts her hand to her face, and the trembling, oh my God, what have I done? You know what you did, right? And so it's like to help avoid, you know, getting to that place where it's like, oh shoot, I was doing a bit too much in that moment because I didn't allow myself to kind of like, you know, balance out a little bit. It's good to give yourself some time to get a little balance, okay? And that's why we're seeing this here. There's a little bit of it's like when you're seeing so brightly in that moment, sometimes it's not to say that you're not seeing, but maybe you're not seeing the full picture, and balance is key. But either way, see, yeah, look at these two cards. The sun, there's the illumination, but she's got this bird over her eye. When you're blowing up, you're kind of seeing your inspiration, your whatnot, but you're not settled yet. You're still in the explosion. That's the aha moments to this and that, and that's why, and that's why, and that's why, and that's why. And you're still on a roller coaster. And then seeing this beautiful picture here, the Two of Wands, this person is sitting and now they're looking at the moon, right? And the moon is this. Before, the moon was in their head, or, you know, the explosion was there, but now it's at a distance, they can see it better. Now, of course, you may be like, oh, I can see it better. And then you start to realize, oh, it wasn't just the moon, there were stars. You see all these other little things? There are other things that are bright too, and we have to make sure. And then we see here the little lights coming into congruence there with the Four of Wands, the happiness, balance, 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 balance. Okay, so if you're running out to get divorces very quickly, and you know, there's something to be said for being impulsive in this year. 1, 2, 3, the circles. You know, you start transformation and that has its own dynamism. You have that transformation and that has its own, and then you let that transformation integrate for you. Okay, so anyway, so we see this Five of Pentacles here. Whatever it is that's going on right now, we're going to respect the process, right? There is a sense of perfection to processes at times anyway, but look at this. How cute. Whoops. Yeah. Oh, hold on. Let me stand it up straight. Okay. Yeah, okay, so I'm looking here. So I'm looking here and we have this Queen of Wands, right? Oh, look at the alignment in both cases. In both cases, we have a woman holding a flower, right? Now, it's quite possible for a lot of people that, again, during this moment, when they make these brash or these mid-transformation, what can I say, transformations or proclamations or whatever, moves, divorces, I'm just gonna sell my shop because this is not, oh, why is selling my shop coming up? That was coming up for somebody in another reading recently. I don't remember which one. I think it was the last one the guides put out, the last one. But, you know, hey, maybe at the end of the day after, you're still going to stand by that decision, right? And it really is going to depend on how you see whatever's going on around you, okay? All right, so the only thing I'd say about that, and see here we keep going back, right? It's like this back and forth dialectic. It's kind of like, on the one hand, it's like the process isn't done yet, but I had the moment, I did it after, yeah, I love it. But then it's like, it didn't make me feel better. I'm still between, right? The Two of Swords, I'm still going between. I'm talking it out, I'm doing this and that, but I'm still not to say I'm still not happy. Now let's talk about that. So some of you during this season or other people around you may have made decisions, right? There may have been decisions made for you, all sorts of stuff. Listen, it's Scorpio. Where we at, right? And those decisions now, as we come into Capricornian energy, which I'm seeing hovering right here, those decisions are now solidifying, right? And it's like, the vibe is very much like, I did what I thought I needed to do, but I'm not quite sure. Maybe part of you won't say, I'm not quite sure that was what I needed to do, but what you might say instead, which is kind of two sides of the same coin, depending on how you want to look at it, what you might say instead is, I still don't feel better. It's the Eight of Swords. I'm this angel, but I'm still in the cage. It's like, I thought divorcing my husband, I don't know why divorce is coming up, would be the right thing to do. And now I realize me throwing his stuff out on the lawn and making a big hullabaloo and telling the neighbors and this and that. I thought I was in my moment of empowerment and whatnot, but it turns out that actually wasn't, I'm not happy. It didn't change, right? And I'll tell you what that energy is. It's right here. It's grief. That's because when we're having these transformations, think about yourself as working on a tree. Super cute, a tree. Like here you have just that one stem with the flower, but it's part of a whole tree. Look at this balance card with the Four of Wands. They're trees. They're lights stringing together. It's relationship, interrelations. It's you amidst more than just you. And so when we go through these transformative seasons, they're great, but you have to remember it's very important to allow these things to get into balance, because you may feel in the moment, this is it, this is blah, blah, blah. Yes, but you've cleared one part of it. And then you have to allow that breakthrough to now integrate the rest of you, right? The rest of your life. And so that's why it's very possible that some people may not be happy with the way things turn out after they're done. But that's the way life is, because then we come right into this new inquiry. See her again, cute Page of Wands. See, we were Queen of Wands before and we were all in our stuff. And then, hey, that didn't help me much. And now I'm back into Page of Wands, seeking again, right? Seeking again. And look at this person now having another flower, cute little baby flower. The question is, what are you going to do about it this time? Because you're going to have another cycle again, right? So we're going to, look at how this Five of Pentacles is. We've got this flower here. And then we've got this Eight of Pentacles here. So now that you've kind of, hopefully, I'm not seeing it though, a lot of people are not going to take a reflective look at how they handled things this season. It's like, I handled things this season, especially if you caused separation, right? And you're left with this, well, I don't feel any better. Or I thought I'd be, on my game now. And then it's like, oh, I still feel the same. That's because there's something that's missing. There's an awareness that's missing. And you see that behind the ear here. But if you guys can tap into that awareness, it actually looks like grief. Again, every time we do things that we, anyway, it's kind of in the background, and it doesn't, you have to work on the grief, okay? So going back into the next cycle, what would behoove us all to do, and this is in life in general, is to look into the grief that we're holding and how it is contributing to creating greater patterns for us. What do we do in response to pain? What do we do in response to others? So for me personally right now, and I think I've mentioned this in my past video, and I will mention it over time again, because I'm going to be including some new features, into my work that I do for you guys. God bless you. Into the free parts, the pro bono stuff, the tithing, whatever you want to call it, the offerings. I don't know, whatever. So for my guides told me, and they told me this since kind of last month, I think, towards the end of October, and I was nervous. I was like, what? Just like that, what? They're like, we're gonna need you for 4 months to take time out. You're going on Four of Swords rest, to take time out to go back into your past and do some dun, 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 soul integration. What? Qu'est-ce que c'est? Right? Some soul integration. So soul integration is exactly what it sounds like. Hey, it's looking at your fragmented pieces on the inside, your wounded inner children, your trauma, your all these things that cause you to be outside of your conscious mind, that cause you to be split consciousness, to be in pain, to be wounded, and to look at what's going on there and to heal those parts of you so that you may be in greater congruence. To be integrated means to be en route to being in your integrity. So a lot of times people talk about this concept of integrity, right? Integrity, the most simple definition of integrity is doing what you say that you will do, right? That's the most basic thing. This is what I'm about, and I align with what I'm about, and I'm doing what I'm about, right? But integrity is really very, very integritous when that doing of whatever it is that you're doing is actually aligned with, like, you take your shadows and your unconscious things you're not seeing into consideration. A lot of times we do things, we're brash, we say things to people, we push them around, we ask for things, we put ourselves in circumstances and whatnot, and we don't realize that it may feel right in the moment and we feel like we're in our integrity, but there are blind spots that we're working with, that we aren't aware of, and it's because we have unprocessed grief. When you have unprocessed grief, that means you're not looking at it, and this is understandable. And because you're not looking at it, and sometimes you can't even know it's there. If you ever find yourself saying stuff like, I already cleared this, why am I doing it again? Or I'm good, I'm done with this lesson, now I'm teaching other people. We teach what we need to learn, okay? Always remember that. We teach what we need to learn. That's why we're able to attract people. Because if I learned all this already, what am I'd be attracting different energies, different lessons, different people to listen to this stuff, right? But we're all, I've heard this saying before, I'm sure you guys have, we're all walking each other home, it's kind of true. We're teaching and we're learning, so that's why I love my clients. God bless you guys. You shout out, you guys know who you are, because I get to learn from you as well, and I really enjoy the conversations we have, especially those that I really connected with a lot over the years. It means a lot to me to have you guys in my life. Thank you, post Thanksgiving, but thank you. But anyway, the whole point is here that we're never done growing. We're never done growing. And part of that is understanding, like we said in the last video, that there are cycles. You're up 1 minute, you're down. You're up, you're down. You're up, you're down. And if you find yourself, blowing your top when you're up and then blowing your bottom when you're down, that sounds so strange. And then you're up again and you're blowing your top and then you're down and you're blowing. It's like erratic energy, right? So you find a way to take yourself through that, and that way to give yourself as much balance as you can is self-love. Because when you're loving the self, when you're caring about the inner child, when you're considering what energies you're holding yourself or you're holding around you, right? And then you contemplate, am I putting those same energies out? The answer is probably most likely going to be yes. Because if you have someone in your life, they're just reflecting to you energies that you have within you. You may not notice that you have it within you. And sometimes you may be like, well, I'm moving out of this situation completely, but I'm breaking up with this, boyfriend or this husband, or I'm getting out of this school or this job. But guess what? Wherever you are, there you are. If you haven't cleared those energies yet, you will just invite someone else in to fill the spot. And if you don't learn the lesson, it's just going to be repeating your cycle. Now, the reason why I'm talking about soul integration is because the guide said that's what I'll be doing. But on top of that, we're going to be working together, God bless, me and my team, to produce content to help you guys as well. Because whatever I'm doing, it's my mission, it's my purpose to kind of share it with you so that you can also get something of value from it. And you guys know where I am, always the same place, you know. So if you have questions or you'd like to work together to kind of unlock some things for yourself, I'm only a message away on some platform. So here's my address. Just kidding. No, it's the DTM, doing too much. But you know what I mean. And so I'll be, you know, when I get these breakthroughs of my own, I will definitely put it out and share it for you, because I've noticed that the way these things go, there are certain people that I'm in alignment with. We're going through these lessons at the same time. We may be learning them in different areas of our life, but the dynamics apply just the same. All right, so keep an eye out for a new series that I'm going to, the working title is called Soul Insights. And those are basically going to be those aha moments, those channeled messages that come through that, you know, after contemplating it in a balanced way is something I can share, right? Because they told me to do it. Oh my God. Sorry. I'm trying to make it sound better. No, they said, hey, you need to do this. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. This, right? They're like, that. Okay. Let me, aye, sir. Let me stop acting like I just woke up and was like, I wonder if. No, I'll be doing that. Okay. I'm also contemplating getting back to doing the astro placements reading. So remember when I used to do like Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to get back into doing those, but I'm going to make them much shorter, maybe the length of a reel. So about 13 minutes. But in addition to that, I will still connect to the collective energies via the daily messages that I do on Instagram through the posts. And these are all channeled, right? Also via the weekly collective energies that I do, and then the monthly ones, those are collective energies. So we may be going through different stages in different areas of our life, but we're sharing the same dynamic of energies, and that's why they're collectives. But the placement ones will be a little bit more looking at the placement. So before I move on, I want to let you know that whenever you listen to astro readings, please remember that it's not just about your sun sign. So make sure that you are, just listen to whatever you feel called to. Check the title. Just trust that your intuition is pulling you in the right place. And with all things, anything you hear, make sure that you vet it. One of the things that the guides are asking me to remind you guys, and it's going to be one of the hallmarks of the Soul Insight series, because it'll be heavily about the inner child. They want you to remember that you have to consume things that are appropriate for your inner child. A lot of us are allowing harsh energies in. If you're allowing harsh energies in and you don't realize it, you could be scaring your inner child, and it lashes out, it acts out in ways you're not aware of. I'm telling you, just trust me on this. And sometimes we think we need to have things told to us in the harsh way, but when you look at it, you have to think, if I had children, would I allow somebody who is harsh and judgmental and critical into my house while they're here? The answer is no. Like, that's just not going to happen. But we do it a lot. We allow friends, we allow family members, we allow even our spiritual teachers, we allow our government officials, good Lord, it's just getting worse now, into these conversations. And we look at our social media, we consume our favorite I wanted to say personalities, but egos, right? Personalities, actors, celebrities, musicians. But a lot of those energies are not very healthy. They're actually pretty toxic. And so you don't realize it, but you're taxing yourself a lot on an energetic level. And it contributes to basically freaking out the inner child. But we'll talk more about that in the time to come, right? But these are just some of the energies that are here. Now, it's interesting that the guides have talked about this explosive energy and being in before and the mids. Yeah, look at it again. Look at how it's like I did all that, but I'm still not happy. I'm still not happy. You may have walked away from something or someone, but I'm still not happy. And the reason why is because of the grief. But they're talking about the explosive energy because we're coming into Capricorn energies, right? And Capricorn energies, this one's like, let me stay here. The Capricorn energies have a solid kind of energy, an emphasis on the long term. It's planning. But we know a lot of our Capricornian friends, God bless you, they get it done. I mean, they're doing it. They're doing their job. They're doing your job. Jesus is like, let me take care of my job. They're like, I got you, Jay. You just let me know, right? That energy, when it's productive, it's productive. But they don't realize that sometimes you could put yourself in your own personal hell when you're that way. Because there's energy pent up. You have to learn to chill. You have to learn to relax. Give yourself a break, right? Look for the defensive energy within you. Wherever you start to get defensive, that's where you need to follow up on. When you start getting defensive about something, start following up on where that defensiveness is coming. Look at a card that fell out. Again, the Two of Swords. That's just a blind spot there. There's the blind spot. Now, everybody has blind spots. Guess what? Even your friendly local reader, me, has blind spots. And I'm not going to sit here and say I don't, right? We all do. And that's why it's important that we remain open and as ideologically flexible as we can. Look at how this lady, super cute, is receiving some advice from this cute little fish. Right? So I'm seeing that there's going to be some type of advice that's going to be coming in. And the reason why is, you know what? I'm getting some soulmate energy, not going to lie. I'm getting some soulmate energy. I'm getting that you're going to be working with a soulmate of some sort. It could be to help you out of a tough spot. It could be to help you with whatever's going on. Because I'm seeing, but they're soulmate because they're not like your polar opposite. So that would be not helpful because the perspectives are just going to be so different, right? They're not your polar opposite, but they're not the same as you. They're a soulmate. They're themselves. They've got their own thing, but there's a collaboration. There's a conglomeration. There is a camaraderie. And so this is why it's important to remember. It's important to talk, right? But you see here, the King of Swords getting ready to talk, but he's got that blindness over the eye, and there's a momentary restraining. There's a time for comfort. We can push people and we can tell them and be harsh and you just have to do this and this is that, but there's a time for nurturing, and there is something to be said for losing the message in the delivery. There really, really is. And you have to understand that for a lot of people, they may think, a lot of us, right? We all, right? We may think, oh, well, I needed to hear it put that way. I needed to be slapped in the face. I needed to get that. Who's talking in that case? It's not your inner child, which is the real you, by the way. I bet you if I looked into your energy field, I would see there is an aspect of you that feels like you're a bad kid or a bad person and you need to be punished or you need to be pushed or you need to be told what to do, that's that energy that leads you to feel that you have to be spoken to in a certain way or treated a certain way, pushed into submission, shown things in a hard way because you can't get it and other people. That's not the truth. The truth is that God placed people on this planet to really communicate. Mature communication, especially when it's coupled with mature healing, is love-based. It's love-based and it's balanced. You don't see the Dalai Lama, who speaks with profundity, out here pushing, So you want to pay attention to what it is that you're exposing yourself to. And remember, you can get the same information, but in a package and in a delivery that makes you open to receiving the information. In teaching, some of you guys may know, I'm officially, my career is in the field of second language acquisition. So I teach English to, speakers of other languages. And one of the things that we have is what we call the affective filter. Long story short, in the classroom, if the environment is not comfortable enough or conducive to allowing the student of whatever age, it doesn't matter, to feel safe enough to be vulnerable and to trust and to expose and to engage, you're going to lose the student. You're going to have them clam up. They're going to get into defensive mode. They can't learn under those conditions. And so right now, that's why soulmates are being sent in. That's why people with compassion are being sent and you're being directed to compassion. You see the Justice card here? Right on top of these. You have to open the channels. When you open the channels, you feel safe. And suddenly all that you want to say is pouring right out of you. And you'll get the same information, but you'll be more open to it. Now you see here the Queen of Wands. We've got the Empress, but we've got the Devil card. So be mindful. See how it's both? It looks like the same. Like we've got the head and then we've got the dress peeking out, right? You have to be mindful that whatever you're doing is balanced, right? So Queen of Swords, yeah, the one that cuts. Ace of Wands, having a new beginning, right? But it's very important to be as balanced as you can. So in this Capricornian energy, all of this, just kidding. What they said. Everybody said that. So during this time, look for new contracts to be coming in, people who have gentle energy, people who you feel comfortable with, people who make you feel confident. Look, there's just as I'm talking about this, look what comes. The Fool card, that's the new beginning. That's the new beginning, right? And now that you've created that new beginning for yourself, or you've had it created for you, you will know what the next step is, because you will find that you gravitate towards it, not because the energies are harsh or prescriptive or judgmental or critical or what's the word? Reprimanding. I'm like, remonstrative? Is that a reprimanding? Or, you know, and I have to be honest. If you're having people like that in your life, chances are you're doing that to yourself. Now, I do that to myself. I'm a hard taskmaster for myself, and I'm working on it. I'm really working on it. I'm really working on it. My South Node is in Capricorn, whoosh, right? But I notice that I direct those energies to myself. For me, I'll wake up and I'm like, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. But no. I need to be embracing the opposite. Jay, just chill out. But when it's other people, I'm completely the opposite. Like I'm able to work with others in a very compassionate way, and that's kind of what flows through me. That's just my way. I'm just not going to be a harsh person, because I can say what I need to say in a kind way, in a very clear way as well. Because if I'm seeing it, I'm going to let you know. But balance is very important, and for me, what that means is I have to work on bringing in loving kindness towards myself. And I've actually been doing that pretty well for the past few days. Few days. Because when we start to treat our inner child with the love and the joy and all that good stuff, we basically, and this works like a charm, I'm telling you, I've been doing it, we basically soothe the central nervous system. Okay? Because when we are like this, and we're driving ourselves and we're pushing ourselves, we get into this belief that we have to surround ourselves with harsh energy. But that's not the case. And sometimes if you're not careful, you'll think that's the sound of spirit. And sometimes spirit is like, no, actually we want you to take a rest tonight. But you're like, but I had these 10 readings I need to get to, right? But it's like, it's okay. So I'd invite you at this point, now that you're embarking, there's a card that needs to go here. First of all, I'm getting a car. There's another car reference. Somebody here, a car, and then a pool reference for somebody. Carpool? A pool reference for somebody here. But there's a card that needs to go here. There's a card that's going to skip the Queen of Swords energy altogether, or energy that's going to skip the Tower, right? So some of you may play the Queen of Swords energy. Remember the Queen of Swords, male, female, gender non-conforming, being the one to bring... No, that's not right. Hold on. Sorry, let me take a look. The energy is like she's looking out there before she gets here. Hold on. You know, and some of you may have brought your tower to, may have created your tower moment in good reflection, actually. And so I'm seeing you looking out, and then taking your action and then having a new beginning, right? So these are collective energies. There are quite a few of us. Ace of Pentacles. And in that case, creating, hold on, let me get this full story. Because you see this mirroring here? There's a mirroring here. So in that case, creating your new beginning and riding on that new beginning. Now it's interesting though, because I'm seeing these vines here, which kind of remind me of the spidery, devilly card, but it's kind of here in your background, all right? This feels like it feels like kind of a similar energy, but zoomed in. So she's zoomed in here, and here she's zoomed out. Okay. So if that's you, I see you in full creation mode, trying things on, trying to be the flower on the grass horse. Cute. But it's so interesting. Again, I have to look at this because even for this group who took matters into their own hands to create their new beginning, there's an energy here of still missing the boat. It's like having a boat that you made for yourself, because there's the creation again, right? So quiet contemplation led to creation. And so there you are with the boat, and there's another boat that's bigger, but it's passing you. And I'm trying to see, it's almost like I'm going to see where this boat leads me, right? So we'll see. Ace of Pentacles, Three of Cups. And it almost kind of gives me vibes now looking at this, that there may be about 3 groups here that are going, oh my God. Guys, we're trying to get this under an hour. I'm just kidding. 3 groups going on here. And they're going back to this saying again, working in tandem, because you see 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Working in tandem. They said that in one of the daily readings maybe a few days ago. There's this idea where some people are taking a bridge, some people are taking a tunnel. I didn't hear about the 3rd group though, but it looks like there's another group that's not being necessarily highlighted here. But either way, everybody is being moved at this time. And the idea that they said is that you're all arriving at the same place. So they were saying, someone's taking a bridge, and when you come off the bridge back onto the ground, you're like do 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 on the ground. You just happen to look to the right, and the person who took a tunnel was like do 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 do, and you're in the same place at the same time. So working in tandem, but not necessarily in coordination. And it was like, what's the meaning of that? Because it sounds redundant, right? But I feel like it's like working in tandem, but you're not working together in that moment. But yet, and there's this one Ace of Pentacles, could be spirit representing the cycle of change, a cycle of change. And there are more than one set. There's more than one set of coins or cycles going on. And so Spirit is saying respect the cycles, okay? So there are cycles going on. So whichever cycle you find yourself in, I would say sink into it. Sink into it and see how it feels. Follow it, right? During this Capricorn, moon in Capricorn, I do feel that things are going to become a little bit more solidified, and you're going to be easing a little bit more into the circumstances you created. I do want to let you know, there's a little bit of a warning here not to bite on yourself, okay? Not to backbite. So be mindful also about people that you're talking to or talking about. This is this conversation again that we were talking about earlier. Look at the Lovers, right? So be careful how you treat people. Very important, because you see that grief, because everybody's going through it right now. So make good choices when it comes to interrelations with others. It's nice to grow. It's always lovely to grow. We all love to grow. Look, everyone's growing and creating. But if your growth comes in a way where you're, like, it's not what you do sometimes, it's how you do it. So sometimes we want to do our best to put good energy out there and do it in a kind way, because we never know, and this saying, we never know what people are going through. And it's true. We never know what other people's inner children are like and how they're feeling. So we want to respect the process, okay? And also, so be careful of how you treat others and what you're saying about others, what you're sending them, things like this. But I also want to say here that for a lot of you, be careful of backbiting on yourself as well. So during this, hold on, let me see. During this time, you want to make sure that you're treating yourself well and that you are listening to the voices that you're using about yourself, okay? All right, to yourself. All right, anything else, guys? I just keep getting a car again. So I don't know why that's for somebody. I'm not necessarily getting a reason with the car, like, whoops, sorry. Let's just pull one more card because, like, you guys know me. Okay, thank you. Oh, Tower, yep. It's Tower energies. Okay. Tower energies, they're saying, and then there's a wait and see. So we've got Tower energies and a wait and see energy. The wait and see energy, it's like you're going, wait, W-E-I-G-H-T, and wait, W-A-I-T, wait and see energy. What you produce will be reflective of the weight that you've been carrying, okay? So you really want to make sure that you're releasing as much toxicity as you can. And that's an inside job, right? Of course, it translates to the outside, but it's also it's very much an inside job. So try to do your best in allowing things to fall. Now, the reason why they're saying that is, see, this tower wants to fall, but she's trying to hold on to it. So if you're trying to hold on to someone, or you're trying to hold on to a place, for somebody this has to do with a place. My heart goes out to you. I totally understand, because it's not fun to lose. It's not fun to lose things. Whether you're losing yourself, whether you're losing somebody, whether you're losing a place in society, losing a sense of identity, whatever it is, we can have compassion for that. And make sure you talk to yourself just like I did. Oh my gosh, I'm losing this place, this placement, this place, this home, whatever. And it hurts, and I don't know what to do with this hurt, but I understand why I'm feeling this hurt. This is now when your inner child's ears perk up. I understand that I'm in a place of pain, and I understand why I'm in a place of pain, because I'm losing something that meant something to me. It meant so much to me. It meant that I was safe. It meant that I was, happy. It meant that I belonged. It meant that somebody saw me. It meant that whatever it means to you, speak it. Exactly like how I just said it, like just talked it out loud like that. You can even look in the mirror. I'm telling you, you will calm your central nervous system down so quickly. Because what happens is we don't acknowledge these things, and we kind of keep going on without allowing ourselves to witness the experience that we're having. This hurts and it sucks. And I can't believe I'm finding myself in this position again. This is coming through very strong. Somebody here is finding themselves in this position again from another lifetime. And you may or may not realize it, but you're repeating a cycle. And there's a part of you that is kind of grieving about that. So it needs so what you can do is you can help yourself by saying, I'm feeling really sad about this, and I don't understand why. But I can guess that at least I'm sad because I miss this, I miss that. I wanted to be the one everybody liked. I wanted to just speak it, speak your heart. That's exactly what's going on. And when you do that, suddenly I'm just seeing her move the bird down. That's the illumination. So you see, what's missing is you looking at yourself. What is my pain? And that feels like I could just put a 7 of swords energy there. Oh, strength, right? The 7 of swords energy is like, that's the missing ingredient. That's the thing that you're not seeing. I'm not seeing that I'm in pain. Okay? And I'm not giving myself the chance to speak on it. And so anyway, this is, if you're interested in following what I'm doing with the soul integration situation, then feel free to keep posted. But if you would prefer to work one-on-one, you know where to find me. You can book an intuitive counseling session with me, also known as the Zoom sessions. I should just change that name, right? But to the Zoom sessions, but an intuitive counseling session with me or two, and we'll take it from there. But there are other ways for you to get in touch with this too. But this is a time to really work on acknowledging our pain. 50 minutes, 50 seconds. And maybe it just means starting with how lonely you feel, how useless you feel. Now, some of you may be like, no, I'm a top dollar attorney. I've got this car. I'm doing well. I'm married with kids. I'm blah, blah, blah. But you're still going to bed with feelings of worthlessness, uselessness, depravity, loneliness. So this is the time, this is the moment. And I'm telling you, I'm kind of getting this feeling that Spirit's like, we're waiting for you to acknowledge this. And the minute you acknowledge this, they're like, here you go. And that's your ticket out. Out of what? Out of the phase. You got it. You got it. That's all we're waiting for you to see it. It's like, can you see it? Can you see your heart's desire? You can't see your heart's desire yet because you can't even see your heart's pain. You got to go through the pain to see the desire. And so if I were you, maybe you can take a moment and you can stop what you're doing after this, well, and soon, and maybe just list. You don't even have to write it down. List all of the things that you're feeling. Go for existential feelings. Of course, you can start in a moment, especially if things are fresh and wounds are fresh. I'm feeling lonely. I'm feeling guilty. I'm feeling ashamed. I'm like, give me why you're feeling ashamed. I mean, I won't be there, maybe in spirit, but like, I feel ashamed because this person told me this about myself, and I secretly believe it's true. And whatever you want to say it. But when I say be existential, think about what you're experiencing existentially. I feel existentially lonely. No matter where I go, no matter who I'm surrounded with, I feel lonely. I feel existentially disconnected. I'm a part of a huge family, but I don't feel seen. I don't feel like I care to look at what other people are doing either. I just feel cold. Like, speak on it. Speak on it. There's power in speaking on it, because when you speak on it, the part of you that is actually holding that pain may be the one that you need to activate. It's waiting to be seen. And when you say that, it's like, right? And that may be your past life self. I'm suddenly seeing it's not a unicycle, but remember those old time wheelie things where it would be like a bike where the front wheel would be like huge, and then the back wheels, maybe there were 2 wheels, or the 2 wheels or 1 wheel, would be small. I'm just seeing that. I'm seeing you riding that. Okay, so maybe that image has meaning for somebody here. But either way, this is a time to get into your feelings. Be in your feelings and take it one step at a time. Be practical. Make sure that you're eating well, you're taking care of your body, things like that. But because you'll also be moving, emotional energy. So you want to make sure that you're feeding yourself, so that because with grief, one of the first things to go is the appetite, right? And then the will to do things. So be mindful of these things. Also, some people have depression, could even be low-grade depression that they're not even aware of. They're just feeling lethargic. They don't feel like talking to anybody. So these are things to look at. And of course, if you need an ear, you can always hit me up. Holla at your girl, right? But make sure that you're taking good care of yourself. But I do see that there are some tears that want to come out. And I feels very strong. A lot of these tears aren't even from this lifetime. So let's do ourselves a favor, let these things come through so we can acknowledge these parts of us, and we can all be, say it with me, integrated. That's right. So keep an eye out for future posts where we talk about soul integration, where we put some soul insights, some little things that come through, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and leave it off here, 55 minutes and 3 seconds. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for listening. You guys mean a lot to me, and I really, really enjoy being able to be of service to you. Okay, if you need to work with me or you feel called to, you know where to find me. Until then, please feel free to check out all of the other wonderful things that we offer through this channel. Okay, bye. Mwah.